describe what's happening. Because in Europe, the diagnosis to push is she's 10 centimeters plus she has an urge to push, which is a little different, okay? So here's your baby. The uterus is open 10 centimeters, so the baby can pass through the gate of the cervix now, right on. And now it still has to go through the vagina. So the baby's been like, woo, party in the uterus. And now it's like, oh, this vagina is really small in here. Okay, so it's getting smushed into this like tighter space, which is when you feel a lot of stretching. Okay, if you're not in enough growth. So here's the secret. Remember our stations, our labor stations? So maybe this kid's at 0 now. Okay? Now, at +2 station, which is maybe about here, there are these nerve receptors in the wall of the vagina. You know what I've always wondered if it's where the G-spot is, if it's the same thing. But okay, forget that. Seriously, okay, because it's right around the same spot. But there's these nerve receptors right here. And they work with pressure and stretch. So if the uterus can like push the baby's body like down like this, firstly, the first thing the uterus has to do after it gets the baby to 10 centimeters is the uterus has to like collapse around the baby and get a bit smaller. This is called restitution. So it's all like loose like this, and it has to change so that it's like more like this, okay? So it has to kind of curl around the baby like this. Do you see how it's getting like a little tighter around the baby? Okay, so that's the first thing it has to do. So right after you hit 10 centimeters, a lot of times your contractions space way out. I call it the rest and be thankful phase. Your contractions might have been 2 to 3 minutes apart, now they're 8 minutes apart. And you're like, what happened? And I'm like, sleep. You know what I mean? Okay, so your uterus restitutes around the baby. It has to kind of shrink down. Okay, next thing it's gonna do is like do a lot of this, right? So what the uterus is gonna do, it's gonna inch the baby's head down, so it's gonna get lower and lower and lower. Well, guess what happens when that kid's head hits those stretch receptors at the +2 station? Boom! It's called the fetal ejection reflex. It starts like just shoving the baby out the rest of the way, really fast. Because the body knows the baby can't be trapped in the vagina too long because it's too tight. So the baby can be like, it's too small, I can't breathe. You know what I mean? Okay. So it's only when the baby's head hits that area that the fetal ejection reflex is activated and it's like, out. Okay? Now, one school of thought says start them pushing when they're at 0 station. And another school of thought says let's do passive descent. This is the term for it. We'll let the uterus bring the baby down lower. We won't make the woman push until she feels that urge to push when the kid's head hits that spot. And she's like, whoa, what? Whoa. It's involuntary. It's like vomiting. It's like, whoa, it's coming out. So a lot of nurses know about this, and they're really skilled with this. And they'll say, you know what, your baby's still really high. You're on an epidural. Let's give you another 2 hours. Keep sleeping. Let the baby just work its way down in the pelvis, real low. We'll only have you push when the baby's like at +2 station. Okay? They've done research. Whose baby comes out faster? The lady who pushes at the 0 station or the lady who pushes at the +2 station? Guess what? They both finish at the same time. No matter what. Even the +2 lady might only push 30 minutes. The 0 lady pushes for 3 hours. If you ask me, I'm going to want to push a shorter amount of time, not get the hemorrhoids, and not hold my breath and stress my baby out and myself. So that's why, whenever possible, if you can wait to push, you want to give as much time and slack as you can to wait. Okay? So that's one of the secrets. What happens if the baby gets down here and she never pushes? Well, it's coming out anyway. She just doesn't have to try to push. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So that's when I say urge to push, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, here's another secret that I want to tell you about. This is going to be tricky to do. Not everyone loves this, but try and bear with me because I think it's a worthwhile exercise, okay? What we're going to try and do is we're going to try and feel our sits bones right here, these guys. Okay? Not the most comfortable. Pull out your chair. You can do this on the ball too, I think. I think it'll work on the ball, let me know. So what you want to do is you want to sit on the edge of the chair, but you want enough space so that you can totally open your knees and not hit anyone or anything. Okay? And guys, this totally works for you. You can do this. You might want to take off your ring if it's going to squish your finger. So sit on your hands until you can feel those sits bones. I know it's not very comfortable. Okay? Feel those bones. And now what I want you to do is make your knees be absolutely together. And I want you to take your knees and make them absolutely as far apart as they go. And feel your bones. Absolutely together, absolutely apart. Absolutely together and absolutely apart. And can you feel them rolling? Do you feel the motion of your bones rolling? Get a handle of that feeling. Because it's not like a straight line how it moves. It's like kind of a rolling motion, right? So just kind of get used to that. Now, here's what I would like you to do, please. I want you to throw away all of your preconceived judgments. I want you to close your eyes and focus. I want you to tell me, which one are these bones farther apart? Is it when your knees are absolutely together, or when your knees are absolutely apart to your ears? So close your eyes and go. And don't say your answer.